Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Cancer, we have that Hermit card. I don't know about you, but when I see that card, I am happy. Maybe you are somebody that's a little more social than I am. Maybe not. I mean, you are a Cancer, right? So when we see that Hermit card, and we know this is going to be a time of inner personal work, right? Going into those interior spaces, really focusing on things like self-development, on healing, on, kind of planning out what is next for you, looking for that thing, that motivation, that inspiration, whatever it is. If you're a creative person, an innovative person, somebody who is always doing projects or has, a lot of special interests or whatever it is, right? This Hermit card is the perfect one, right? Because it goes right in there. That's that energy. You get right in there and you are focused. You are focused. All right. So we're going to see, what do these tea leaves have to say? How are they going to interact with this energy? And I want to go ahead and tell you, I appreciate, let me just say it again, appreciate you deciding to click on the video, checking out a tea leaf reading, maybe for the first time. I know it seems a little strange. A lot of people, they are used to like tarot or, gazing or psychic kind of stuff. Tea leaf reading kind of seems old school. So thank you for taking a chance and welcome to the channel. All right, let's take a look. So immediately I'm seeing we have, it looks like the letters K, V, and maybe Y. Maybe K, V, Y. Okay? Could even be K, M, Y, but I think that we're looking at K, V, Y. Immediately I was like, does it say Kevin? Maybe not. These could be letters that are kind of jumbled up. They could be initials. They could just be partially there. If it means anything to you, then it is showing itself. It's letting you know. Now, down here we have, it looks like a house, okay? And this is very much based in the emotional, which is on the incline of the bowl here, and also in the rim, which is the metaphysical, psychic, kind of that like higher thinking place, okay? So what I feel like is going on here is definitely a focus on maybe establishing a physical home or kind of reclaiming the physical home, maybe moving things around, redecorating. Maybe it is that you're out there looking for a new place to live. All of this could be very possible, but because we're in the emotional and this metaphysical, this is like very akin to that interior temple, right? That sacred space we hold within self when you close your eyes and you kind of begin to travel into that other place. Where do you end up, right? Now, for things like guided meditation or active imagination, or even if you are doing like spiritual alchemy work, a lot of times there will be kind of towards the beginning of this process, kind of a building of the personal temple. Okay, now it doesn't have to be like overtly a sacred space. It doesn't have to be like a cathedral or some little, shrine or whatever. It can look like whatever you want it to. For me, it is often looks like a laboratory or a sacred tree with a like hollowed space inside. It can look like whatever you relate to, okay? But I do think that this is kind of a calling for you in this next cycle of time to be focused on building yourself in your mind's eye, building yourself a place to go, okay? What does that mean? I know, you're probably, go where, Lenor, right? Well, when you're sitting, you're meditating, you're trying to find maybe centering, grounding. Maybe you are beginning to go to sleep and you start to visualize, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to begin my dreams tonight. And so you create a room or a building, or, it could be whatever, a sacred garden. It could be just abstract, completely, black, the void, whatever. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever feels like home to you. Okay? So I do challenge you, and I'm going to challenge you this year with some of these kinds of different techniques and different ways of maybe accessing these interior places. And so, yes, please spend some time after you listen to this to kind of just consider. You don't have to go through the whole process of building out the temple, right? But to consider, where would you go? What calms you? What makes you feel like well received? That feeling of, I don't know, like you move away, right? You move away, you go to school, you're gone at college, you're away from your family, right? You're missing them, you're missing the gatherings, you're missing, just everything, the small talk, the laughing, the whatever, right? And you come home for that first, whatever it is, Thanksgiving. Here in the United States, usually it's like Thanksgiving, right? You go on break, you go home for that first little break away from school. And when you get there, all the cars are lined up outside of the house, and there's going to be like good food, there's going to be good conversation, and that excitement. And you open the door and you walk in, and everybody stops to look at you and they say, hey, what's going on? I love you. Welcome. We're so glad to see you. That feeling right there, that warmth, that safety, that historic connection you have with these people. That is what we're looking for. So you sit and think, what would that look like for me? Now maybe, this example I gave, this could be kind of hard for some people, like myself included. I'm separated from my family of origin, right? So sometimes the holidays can be hard, and I know that. And sometimes we come from places where the holidays are traumatic, chaotic. So if that's not the thing, disregard what I just said, right? But looking for something that feels like you're walking into the place where you belong, where you are well received, where you are noticed, where you're cared for, all of it, okay? So that's your homework. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to keep moving this. And now it looks like we have Anubis sitting over here. You can see the head right here. And if you don't know who Anubis is, this is a Egyptian god, right? With the head of a jackal, which is a dog. Well, kind of a canine, right? Almost kind of a, what are those called? What are those things called? A jackal and, the mean one. They were the mean ones in The Lion King. I can't think of the word. They have those jaws. They just, jackal. Hyena. That's it. Got it. Kind of, within the canine family. So, also a Hierophant, No, not a Hierophant. Sorry, a psychopomp. This is a entity, a god, a demigod who is tasked with the job of coming and receiving those who have passed away recently. And he takes them down into the underworld to be judged, to have their hearts weighed, right? And so, don't worry. I'm not saying that there is any kind of energy of death around. That's not it. But it is a feeling of kind of weighing what is going on in your life, how you're living. Maybe some of the decisions that you've made in this last year or couple of years, right? We all need to, at some point, kind of stop and just kind of, take a look at what our life is like. Is this where I had planned to be? Am I doing what is worthwhile to me? Is it meaningful? Do I feel alive in my own life? It's amazing how many people I talk to that don't. They're going through the motions. And, we all do it at times. There are plenty of, days, weeks, months I've been on autopilot. Just like you have. Just like we all have. But sometimes we have to stop and we have to think, is this why I'm here? Am I doing the work that I intended to do? And I don't just mean making money, although that's important as well, because we spend a lot of time within our careers, a lot of time within our work lives. But no, what I mean is, why are you manifested as a being with a body? And all of that, right? And why are you walking this earth? Why are you existing here? And we need these moments. They are reminders to us. It's like you're coming up to a crossroads. The other part of the Anubis energy is very much about, are we living by our convictions? Are we living a life that we're proud of? Are we able to go to sleep at night and feel peace in our heart about how things have gone throughout the day? A few years ago, I would have told you everything. I just went to bed. I was snoozing. I was in recovery. I still am in recovery, but I was in recovery. That was the core of my life. I was focused on that self-development. This is when I was single. I was courting my husband. Not fighting with anybody. No reason to, hide things or lie or whatever. I was not having any problems with anybody. It just was what it was. I lived my life and I went to bed and I slept well, right? And I could sleep knowing that I didn't hurt anybody. Nobody hurt me today, right? Now, fast forward. I have a little kid. I have a toddler who thinks she's like 15, right? And, I'm also married. I have a family. And if you've been married and had kids, things can be complicated. So no, I don't go to sleep every night knowing that I did not fight with anybody or I didn't lie to my daughter about something. Sometimes I do, and I'm just going to be real about it. But what I have to do and what is necessary of me is to at times stop and think, am I living by my convictions? Am I proud of how I'm living? Are there things that I could do differently, and what are they? Right? Where am I falling short? Okay, part of that for me, and I know I'm talking about myself a lot, but I want to give you some of the energy here. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. For me, I haven't been able to do as many general readings as I want to, right? And that's, you look at the channel for the last couple months. I just have not had the time. I've been sick. and, you know, a million other things, a million other reasons. But I got to stop and I got to think. Where are my priorities? What's important here to me? Yeah, and this channel is important. And also engaging with the divine. Divining is important to me. So what do I need to do? What do I need to look at? My routine, my schedule, staying on task. I do have ADHD. So this is kind of the energy. I have a similar thing going on. Going over your life. Looking at where, yeah, I need to make some changes. I could live more in tune with how I envisioned this path to be. Now, it's not always going to be the way that we want it to be, but it's about how we react to that. It's about how we do the dang thing, right? And so sometimes we do. We need to stop and really examine and then put it to work. And that's where I see you. You're in this very introspective place with this Hermit card, right? The other thing about the Hermit is we have a lot of revelation. A lot of connection with the divine, synchronicities, patterns, sacred numbers, sacred geometry, symbols, all kinds of things showing themselves to you. I don't know what it is about a spiritual path, the occult, magic, whatever. When you do things on your own, when you do walk the path in this kind of solitary mindset, things just flow. But when you are witness and you are working with somebody else, it seems to be a lot harder. And often the results just aren't the same. So when we get into these parts of our travel where we are by ourselves, where we are in that hermit mode, I tend to believe that these are more sacred. Not more sacred, but just like more quantifiable as sacred, right? Because we're having things happen that feel divine, that feel magical, that feel important. So lean into this energy. I know that you will because you're a Cancer, right? I mean, just all the Cancers I know in my life, I'm even married to one, having time by yourself to do your own thing and to like explore the corridors of your mind, that sounds amazing, right? That's like a Cancer's dream. So lean into it. Absolutely. Okay, so we have the word fast. Fast. F-A-S-T. Fast. We also have what looks like, it reminds me very much of Hathor. Okay, so we have the sacred cow and in a seated position, lying down. Okay, we also have a person here who looks like they're kind of attacking. You can see, let me show you this. The person is here. Here's the head, here's the body. Okay, here are the feet. Arm raised, holding some kind of tool. And over here, the other arm, hand, kind of holding on to, it looks like a rooster. Okay, so for me, I absolutely believe that this is very much about some kind of, almost like an alarm going off, right? Like the cock-a-doodle-doo, wake up, you know? And being kind of this moment, yeah, like this, like, okay, knock, 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 wake up. It's time to be in your life. It's time to participate in your own story, right? But, and this, we see the person just about ready to call this rooster here. It really feels like a kind of a not defensive reaction, but kind of almost it feels proactive. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. It's like, okay, I'm jumping on this thing. And that's with the word fast. Yes, not like sitting around just kind of like, well, maybe I should deal with this, or maybe this needs to get done. No, you're on it immediately. And so I feel you really in this action. I mean, just moving. And I think at times it can be hard for those around you to understand what you're doing. I almost kind of wonder if you are somebody who kind of came to spirituality, to that self-development, the interior work, whatever it is, if it's religious, spiritual, or otherwise. But I feel like you came to this maybe at a later age, okay? It's not like you started, you went to like a monastery to live when you were like, 18 years old. No, I feel like this is something that has like progressed. And maybe in your middle age or a little bit older, this is when it kind of starts to click. And you start to have these revelations. You start to have these visions. Your psychic abilities seem to be like online fully now, right? And I think for the people around you, they don't necessarily understand what the heck is going on. Because I don't know that you've always been somebody who like uses the language or, is particularly motivated by spiritual matters, but all of a sudden here you are because you've had a series of awakenings, right? And so I feel like that's really going to be one of the big things in this next year, this next cycle, is not trying to explain yourself, because you know what? It's nobody's business ultimately what you're doing or what you're into. But I feel like for you, because you have a relationship with the people in your life that you care about, your family, your friends and coworkers and so on, you want them to at least not worry about you, right? And you want them to maybe even see kind of like, yeah, this is all beneficial to me and for me and of me. And so I think that's going to be kind of a delicate dance, and a lot of us have gone through it. Now, somebody like myself, maybe not so much. I come from a family of weird people. I am weird. I've always been the weird girl. So it's not, I don't think anybody in my life has even, they've ever even blinked at anything that, oh, well, yeah, that's Lenor. That makes sense. But I can imagine what it would be like, right? All of a sudden you're into something completely out of the norm for you, okay? But take it slow and try to be understanding. I think often people are very resistant when it's something they don't get, but also because they're worried. They don't understand, like, how did you get into this? What does this mean? Is this going to change you? All of that, right? And you have to try to be patient with people, and if they're rude about it, then you have to start deciding, like, what am I going to share openly? And, who am I going to keep close to me and all of that, right? So this is going to be maybe a topic that comes up a little bit in this next few months, right? Into the year. Now, over here, it looks like we have immediately, I don't know, it looks like a T, and then it looks like IT, and then it looks like an E, and immediately what came to mind is take it easy. Be patient with yourself. Be good to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat somebody you were dating, that you really liked, and you're really laying it on thick, and you're being on your best behavior, and you're saying all the right things, and feeling all the feelings. Let yourself be a part of this courtship that you're having, right? Let you court you. And let me tell you, that kind of romance is the ultimate kind of romance. When we can start to fall in love with ourselves and we can start to treat ourselves like we would treat our most beloved partner, our, that girl, that guy that we're chasing, we're trying to get in there, we're trying to, just really form a bond, a union. When we can do that with ourselves, oh, baby, let me tell you, there's no power like loving yourself. There's no other power in the world that will lift you up faster. And ultimately, the biggest shield ever. If you are feeling yourself, you are caring for yourself, you are showing up for yourself, you are there listening to yourself, talking to yourself. Well, I don't know about you. I do talk to myself a lot. All of this, if somebody has something to say, who cares? Who cares? You don't have to explain yourself. It doesn't matter what they think. If they're just being a little flippant, if they're trying to hurt you, if they're just plain mean, who cares? It's like that old, bless your heart, have a nice day, wipe that dirt off your shoulder. And so, yes, take it easy with yourself. Be good. Talk yourself up. Do those affirmations. I know it feels weird. There's plenty of times I'm standing there looking at myself in the mirror saying, you are, the SH. You are it, girl. Look at how far you've come. You have done this. You've built a life for yourself. You've stayed the course. You've shown up for your family. You've shown up for yourself. And I sit there and I try to say these things, and sometimes I think, my goodness, I must look silly to somebody, right? Who cares? Because after a while, if you keep doing that, you keep really talking to yourself and lifting yourself up, it will take hold. It will take hold. So, get to it. I know, I have so much homework for you, Cancer. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do our lucky numbers. Lucky numbers. Here we are. All right. 89, number 89. Ooh, number 49. Now we need 9, right? Would that be the right one? 22. We got 22. It's always very close, and then nope, no cigar. All right, let's go ahead and we'll finish off with our Wild Offering Oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through. I'll stop where it feels right. And we have enjoyment, striving, and pushing makes life into endless hard work. The more you're inviting love to take over, the more enjoyment comes. Allow yourself to enjoy this life, dear Lord. Oh, allow me to enjoy this life, dear Lord. Allow me to enjoy this life. And take it easy. All right. Let's see. I think that's it. Cancer, thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always my honor, my great honor, to be able to bring these messages to you. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, take care of yourself. Be well. Take it easy. We'll talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.